So, welcome to the terrace. It's nice to see you again. For those of you who don't know where we are, that's Catalina Island out there, and that's the Pacific Ocean behind us.
Can I say hi too?
That being said, hello.
Okay. So like we stopped on the subject that you're not okay with the government and how it works. So what's your idea of the government and how it should work for you? And didn't it
I-
work in the past?
I might sound like the proverbial optimist. It's not a matter of being Democrat or Republican or independent or things like that, but it would be nice to have this country respected again around the world. That for me is the most important
Should
thing.
we
To
blow
have
up?
some civility, to have people be able to say we have a brilliant leader. Whether you agree with the policies or you don't agree with the policies, you do agree that this is a brilliant person, well read, well respected, well experienced, instead of the clown that we have in the administration now.
Great.
That's the best way I could put it.
But
I mean, we've got somebody, this country has become such an embarrassment worldwide.
yeah, but like, did it change like for like 3 4 years? Like, one guy doesn't make the country good or bad. He might say bad things or do bad things,
Yep.
but there are like other people in the government, and like there are other vessels. And,
Yes, but if they're chosen by an incompetent person, then yeah, everything is top down.
but we chose that guy, not the
No,
government.
we didn't choose. We didn't
Oh.
choose the guy. He lost the election, but he got the electoral college, which should be obsolete anyway. You know.
And interesting that you bring in that electoral college. I think actually, and I put it in the book, and I will bring it all the time about the book. I think that the president should be voted as a by popular vote, and that's it. But the Congress people can be elected and should be elected by the local election and local voting.
But they are.
They are, and
They are because the presidential the president is not a member of Congress. That's a completely separate election.
exactly.
But the problem, which is a good reason, does it make sense that California, with millions and millions of people, has 2 senators, and a place like Idaho, which only has 10 people, has 2 senators also?
As well.
That's insanity.
Yeah, but the whole point was the representation of each state should be in balance.
Exactly.
But
Which
I-
means that technically, the Senate should be populated almost the same way Congress is. Yeah.
But let's say it's okay. But we agree that the president should be elected by popular vote, not by the electoral vote.
Yes, the Electoral College was put in, I think, during the time of slavery, if I'm not mistaken.
I have no clue.
No, that's when it came in. I don't know the exact reason, but it makes no sense anymore. Especially because with the one house or the other house so involved in gerrymandering by changing the official population status. The census is being politicized now. Everything that one party can do to subvert the electorate is being done. Because in the case of somebody like Donald Trump, who's so unpopular, the only way that he could possibly win is by gerrymandering the electorate, keeping people from getting to the polls to vote, or basically lying and cheating, which he seems to be very good at. Anyway, so that's our government has so many handicaps right now.
But again, like talking about handicaps in the government, who put the people of government in place? My problem with whole thing that we keep blaming the government, but we putting that government in place. And now one guy like Donald Trump, and you saying he's not popular, which I disagree. He's a radical and he's popular
With who?
with everybody.
Yeah, mostly older white people uneducated people, which has already been proven. They say that
Proven by you or proven
no,
by
but everything we know, the only people that are voting for Trump are uneducated white people.
let me say this. Trump is popular even with his unpopular and radical statements. He's being popular in CNN. They counting that like how many lies he did. They doing like they following everything he says.
That's not important. What's important is to
It's
know.
important because he's popular.
No, it's important to know what his constituent. If you're talking about being popular with 30% of the people, who cares? The problem is that he's alienated blacks. He's alienated everybody from outside the country. He's alienated women. He's alienated. Now he's beginning to alienate his own constituency, which consists of white older people, and they're leaving him also. Why? Because he wants to get rid of. He wants to kill Medicare. He wants to kill Obamacare. He basically wants to kill everybody.
Great. But
Everybody except white racists, who are the only people who are still going to vote for him.
today is July, right?
Yeah.
Great. So at the same time, 4 years ago, we had the same consensus that Trump is unpopular. He's so idiot. He's so bad. And by the way, he won the election. How about that?
He didn't win the election. He won the Electoral College.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
I
Because
checked last time. I checked. We're still on the electoral college.
yes, but the difference is that he won the Electoral College, but he didn't win the election.
Okay, so he
Hillary
didn't.
Clinton lost the election. There's a big difference.
Yeah, but the same thing. Let's talk about the election. Last 4 years ago, they put a person as Hillary Clinton, very qualified candidate, but under the investigation of FBI.
That's not why she.
No,
That's not
but
why I
hold on,
believe
hold on.
she lost.
Hold on, it doesn't matter. Like what I say, like if you apply for a job, don't you wanna like you cannot be under any investigation when you're applying for the job. Nobody.
Trump was under more investigations
Not
than Hillary.
personally.
Of course he was.
His companies were. He didn't like. He wasn't on the investigation of FBI for doing something wrong on a top level position. He was. He has been and is on investigation through that companies. But Hillary Clinton was under
But that's
investigation.
not why she lost.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it makes a difference because the reason Hillary Clinton lost is because she didn't get the vote out. This is my opinion. She didn't get the vote out. And more importantly, she campaigned in all the wrong places. She kept campaigning in New York. She kept campaigning in California, states that she couldn't lose if she wanted to.
Right.
But all the states where she had the campaign that controlled the Electoral College, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Georgia, she didn't even show up to do anything. So of course she lost.
I think that Donald Trump made it popular himself. He put like key points. He identified the problems of the country, and he doesn't know how to fix those problems, but he identified. He showed up as a real man for this country, and he, of course, like I don't believe in Donald Trump, but he actually acted as he was a good guy for the position.
I don't even agree with that. What Trump did is Trump came on stage as a disgusting TV personality. Basically, it was like Jerry Springer running for president.
Exactly.
And he could say, and everybody else, these were seasoned politicians who had no idea how to handle something like that.
Agree completely.
Because they were afraid to say one bad thing. But what Trump did, which was brilliant, and this is what he's been doing ever since.
Just look at the camera.
on
What Trump
Mo-
did, brilliant.
On Monday, he would say something completely ludicrous.
Right.
And he would control the media without having
Discussing that stupid
without
stuff.
having to spend one dime. And then on Friday he would walk it back. And then the next Monday he would do the same thing. And so the media only covered Trump, and everybody else who wanted to go against Trump had to spend millions of dollars in advertisements
Jeffrey,
and things like that
that's-
to fight it.
That started
Brilliant.
Exactly. But it's back like to the point that he's not popular now. He's still continuing saying crazy stuff, and he's all the time in a conversation of people.
With one difference.
What?
He's pissed off now too many people.
Agree, and people can see that like many things he've talked about, like he didn't do them. So I
Well,
agree.
the virus is going to destroy him just by itself.
But he didn't do the virus.
Yes, he did. He basically there would be at least 50,000 people alive today if he would have done something.
But where the Democrats were, like to conflict him, like to contradict him, to come up with a plan, that's is my problem with the whole government. That everybody is talking. Like you go on a Twitter, and like Bernie Sanders, other like they, yesterday somebody says this, 2 days ago somebody says that. I don't need government reporting.
I believe
Hold
Twitter,
on, hold on.
I believe Twitter should be absolutely illegal for any politician to participate in. That's my opinion.
But the point is that government became reporting agency. They're not coming like to say, listen, I'm proposing, not I'm reporting who says what. They're like basically rumor starting body. I'm proposing doing this. I want you like to do this. So tell me something.
Fine, but at least you're proposing something. At
I
least-
want them like
at
to
least
propose.
the Democrats, like Biden, is proposing solutions for everything. And more important, the one thing that I really believe in Biden. This is why. Do I think?
Is
do
it
I really?
painful like to drop myself out? Like
Yeah, but the reason is because the president is not the government.
yeah,
The president is not the government. The president is the spokesman for the government. But
His
the only,
executive branch.
but the executive branch doesn't exist anymore. They've all quit.
Yes.
Anybody with any intelligence and any responsibility and any possibility of creating anything good have quit the government.
I
And
agree
nobody
with you.
wants to come in because nobody wants to work for Trump. They can't afford to work for Trump. You can't pay the legal bills that you're going to wind up with to work with Trump.
So coming back to
But-
the government.
But the difference is that I'm sure Biden will have a vice president that will knock your socks off. I'm sure that the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, everybody that Biden will put in the government will be one of the best in the country to have the position. And in the Trump administration, almost everybody in the government now are totally incompetent. They're not smart enough to flip hamburgers in McDonald's, let alone run a government.
I was
And that's
about to
serious.
think about like going to McDonald's. So listen,
Well,
so
I'm just telling you, the people at McDonald's are much smarter than the people running the government.
okay, so with Biden, like, but his ideas of the country, like what, like I don't hear his idea for the country.
That's not true. Biden has gone into detail about almost everything. If you go on his website
Clinton,
and check,
but Clinton also like Hillary, she detailed everything. She came as a like, I would say she came to the second debate as most conservative Republican I ever known. She came as a Republican and she proposed like she gave like the balancing budget. She told us like how she's gonna balance the budget. She said all that right things and she lost.
look, again, we have to go back to the debate of why she lost. She lost because Trump was very clever, but the difference is she lost because she just ran a very, very poor campaign.
But people don't. You see, people don't care what you say, like how you run the country. Right now, people care about all what Trump does, the show, the punching line,
Yeah, but
the controversy.
But the television show is getting old. I mean, first of all, we have a president who I believe never wanted to be president. I believe, like a lot of people say, that his only goal was to become famous, to see his name in lights, and to eventually have his own television network. And he accidentally won the presidency, which is the worst thing that could possibly have happened to him, because now all the illegal crap that he's done his entire life is now going to be public. Although, because right now, eventually his tax returns will come out and he's done. And eventually everybody's going to know. The Bolton book, which I'm reading right now, when you see how the White House was actually being run for 17 months by one of the most incompetent public figures in probably in world history. We're not talking about someone who's ignorant. We're talking about a complete ignoramus. And the only people that he's hired to be in this administration
than-
are dumber than him. Remember, the Peter principle. If you start out at your level of incompetence, the only people who will work for you are people dumber than you.
So
and that's the
you
situation.
look better, right? You look smarter.
Well, no, it's because nobody else will take the job. The people who he did bring
So
in
what's the
some good
solution?
people at the
So
beginning,
okay,
but
Jeffrey.
they quit.
Okay, what's the solution? Like when Biden comes, do you think he's physically capable of running the show? Because whenever he talks, I think he's gonna like collapse.
No, I don't agree. Because first of all, you have to hear about the history of Biden. He did an interview earlier this year, which was where people asked him about that, and he grew up sadly with a terrible stutter, and he's had to suffer with this stutter his whole life, and this affects the way he sometimes talks. But also he's not 10 years old anymore. But the other thing I'm sure is that whoever he chooses for vice president will be unbelievably qualified.
So
to
should
take
we
over.
like vote for the vice president instead of Biden?
Actually, I think that's our choice because
If he brings like a good person, we kind
because
of like
I don't think Trump's going to make it 6 months at this rate. He's completely out of his mind. He's losing it altogether, and then we will be stuck with Pence.
I think what's going to happen, like whoever will be the like next nominee, I mean not next nominee on the I apologize, whoever like will face on the debates Trump, and it will be Biden. Trump will start making.
I believe Biden will destroy him. Totally. Totally, because the thing is that Biden has an explanation for exactly what government will be, and Trump cannot come up with even one line about anything that he wants to do. He has no idea why. The only reason that Trump wants to remain president is because that's the only thing that's going to keep him out of jail.
But like let's think about that. When Trump starts like saying, "Hey, Biden, what about your son, Hunter? How it's possible if you don't know what your son is doing? How can you know what the country is doing? And how it's possible?"
The
that,
answer?
Yeah.
Ask him.
Yeah, but this is not the answer.
Of course it is, because he was in the he was not in the government. He got a job.
Seriously?
Like somebody said to me once.
Okay.
Somebody said to me once, as a musician, if I was talking with a very famous violinist who gets an enormous fee for playing a concert,
Okay.
and then like $40,000-$50,000 a concert, and I said, "Don't you feel guilty about taking that kind of money?" And he looked at me and he said, "Geoff, if somebody would offer you $50,000 for a concert, would you take it?" I said, "Of course." He says, "The defense rests." So the point is that, for whatever reason, whether he was the vice president's son or anything, somebody offered him an incredible deal. Why should he not take it? It has nothing to do with life or government. The point is that, he was the vice president under Obama. Everything that Biden did was based on Obama's policy. But one thing I'll say about Obama, he was president for 8 years and no scandals. Trump can't go 10 minutes without a scandal.
Yeah, but it's different. Like if you don't know what your son is doing, and it will be right now. Like it's kind of like it's just me talking to you.
If you're going to compare children,
It's
that no, sorry. If you're going to compare, so he has one son who died. Who died.
Okay.
And then he's had an amazing life. He knows what loss is. And you look at somebody like Trump, he's got, you talk about people who are subverting the government, Ivanka, Jared Kushner, who was already a criminal in New York, Trump, who was a major criminal and a racist in New York his entire life, and then he's got Eric Trump, who's got about the IQ of a gnat, and then Trump Jr., who's totally nuts.
Do you believe that Biden will go all the way down and say what you're saying? I don't think
he has to.
But that's a point. But
Trump.
Trump,
I think I would say, I believe that at the point, if this comes up, if Trump,
it will come up.
If Trump tries to bring up Biden's son, I'm sure that the Biden's going to bring up Trump's family, and they are complicit in so many illegal things. The whole Trump presidency was all about enriching himself, enriching his children, enriching himself, enriching his family. He doesn't give a flying crap about everybody in the United States. Never did.
Again, I agree with you. My point is like whenever he's going to debate Trump, he doesn't care what you're saying. He's going to be punching in one direction. Like whenever you say like because your righteousness and you're like such a Jesus Christ to Biden, but your son doing this and this, and you cannot control your son, or you don't know what.
There's not enough about the son to talk about.
Yeah, but it's for you. But when you
No,
get
there is literally not enough about the son to talk about.
like getting like six like figures.
Why not? So, what do you think? What do you think Ivanka Trump's getting? What do you think
Ivanka Trump
is
like
getting?
selling something.
Huh?
Ivanka Trump doesn't
Based on her position as the president's daughter.
but she's doing something.
No, she's not. She's stealing. She's doing the same thing. She's using her position as Trump's daughter to enrich herself. That's what you're talking about with Biden's son. He got a job and he enriched himself because he was Biden's son.
Exactly.
It makes
Hold
it.
on.
It's small
Hold on,
potatoes compared to what
hold
she
on,
does.
Hold on. You just made my case. Biden is not better than Trump. It's how it's going to be presented.
Yeah.
So they both enrich their
The
families.
big difference is that first of all, Biden is very, very experienced. He's well thought out. He has actual plans of how to fix everything, and Trump doesn't even know why the crap he's even running for office.
Okay, I apologize. Biden couldn't even debate Sarah Palin. He
What?
looked. You don't remember like there was
Sarah
one.
Palin?
Yeah, he couldn't debate her. She looked much better than Biden.
This I don't remember. I mean, normally.
Watch that debate.
No,
She was much better than Biden.
Yeah, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
My point is that
doesn't
whenever
matter.
he start
It
debating,
doesn't matter. The point is that I mean, when you look at John McCain, he would have been president if he didn't have Sarah Palin.
potentially, but then he's I don't know. But the point, like we debated, we talked about the government, and the government consists of people, and people are not educated to withstand people like Donald Trump who just say whatever they want to say, and other people cannot even contradict them in a way to make them like look idiots saying idiotic stuff.
The problem is that the media and, in fact, world opinion, everybody spends all their time trying to fact check Donald Trump, which is very difficult because he wouldn't tell the truth if the truth was the only thing that could help him.
So like,
When
how
you have
smart
somebody
is
like Biden, you have somebody like Biden who, if he says something that even is slightly off, it's a horrible thing. But that's nothing compared to the level of the lies and the stupidity from the other side.
That's how Bush won second election. Bush was presumed to be stupid. Everybody say Bush is stupid, ha ha ha, Bush is stupid. And when he's gonna debate the trial lawyer, John, what is his John?
The one thing I'll say for Bush is when he says, "Do you miss me yet?"
Yeah, but that's a fun on us when Bush said something little bit smart in a debate with John, not Edwards, but John. What is his name? You forgot?
Kerry.
Kerry. When he got something smart on that debate, everybody, wow, Bush is the smartest guy in the room. That's how, like right now, that's my point.
Yeah, but the
Okay.
difference is that I'm sure that the person that Pence is going to have to debate with, then Pence is going to get eaten alive. Do
Yeah.
I believe that?
I agree with you.
I also believe that the Biden will eat Bush alive. Eat Trump alive.
I'm not sure about that because
Trump will make a Trump will
nothing
make,
sticks to the
Yeah,
Trump.
but he'll make an ass out of himself every time he opens his mouth.
I'm-
And basically Biden doesn't have to say anything. All he has to do is present his plans for the future and
And that would be
and let
smart.
Trump bury himself.
Yeah, that would be the smart strategy
Absolutely.
for Biden not to get into the personal
Well,
discussions.
that's what he's doing now, and it's working great. His polls are going up and up and up, and he doesn't have to do anything
we will
because
see.
Trump.
We will see about that because at the moment when Trump starts spends money, because half of the country still is not with Democrats. What Biden has to disassociate himself from the social democrats, like people like Bernie Sanders and what's the Elizabeth Warren, because like people thinking that we are going to be a socialist country.
What I worry about, the only thing that I think nobody's talked about it much, but I always worry that if a third party candidate joins this race and can hurt Biden, that's going to be a major advantage for Trump.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
always
think that's the only way that he can possibly win.
and actually that was always like comes to discussion and like an idea. People ask me like, what do you think about like thought party entering like in a stage of political
Yeah,
stage?
but
And
I
I say,
can't. But so far, I can't think of anybody who would be popular enough
but the
to
problem
change
with
the
the
election.
you see, like you expect this is how it's going to work. You expect that the third party will be a good party, kind of like with the good ideas, and then you have like Democrat or Republican with the good ideas. Then these good ideas will be split between themselves, and the bad idea will just dominate the election.
I think one thing I can tell you is that it's going to be a very entertaining 4 months. It's going to be a very deadly 4 months, and I think that a lot is going to depend on the only saving factor for Trump, which is the economy. And right now, it's not working out very well. For
Yeah.
instance, unemployment just went down. Not unemployment. There was a big good jobs report, but there was also a high unemployment report too.
But
So-
let's talk about economy in next segment. So let's split right now.
Okay.
Like and it just so basically the government is not working for us, and we have to get educated to bring people who understand what we need to the government. Then we can just keep them potentially try to keep them honest and while they're working for us.
The other question that we should eventually talk about is that how big an effect will social media have on this next election?
Oh, it's like incredible. So let's split for today.
Okay.
So nice talking to you. All right.
Okay.
And thank you so much.
But
for
I must say,
watching.
this is fun.
Thank you.
All right. Bye now.